This is the December update.
All right. So in December, we started to work to get ready to work on the airplanes. We had the engine here already for the airplane out in Parima, number 9113 Mike. And we started to get ready for that. We had a friend coming at the end of the month. So I traveled out to Parima and to Kaikian to get ready to make sure we had all the things in place there so that we could take the engine. Actually, we took the engine out there, and I wanted to make sure we had all the things set up so that when Roger came, that he and I could go and get the engine installed and put together and get the airplane flying right away. And I went over to Kaikian to visit there, the airplane 609 that's there, and I looked at that one, made sure we had things together for that, made sure I had all the parts that I needed, either there in the airplane or here in Bethany to carry out. So we were getting ready finally to get these planes flying again.
So we've been talking about a girl named Yulia. Yulia is a young lady, about 20 years old. She joined us in August. Actually, she traveled down here with us. We kind of talked about that a little bit. And she was here to help me in the house, help cook, help clean. Her tasks took on many different ways. Over the course of time, she found herself struggling spiritually. And after some good conversations with myself and another lady from the village, she was able to recommit her life back to God, even stronger than she was before. And then was a surprise. Each one of us, Chris and myself and two other people from the village who she had been working with, all felt impressed to encourage Yulia to go for more training. Why waste her skill in the kitchen when she is ready to serve the Lord in any aspect? And one of her ways is to minister to people, health-wise and encouraging. So she applied to Wildwood, and she, amazingly, their class was closed, and amazingly she got in. There's a spot that opened up in the girls' dorm, thankfully not the men's dorm, because both dorms were very full. And so they thought of her on the spot. They interviewed her. We said, we don't have, none of us have money. She didn't have money to put towards the entrance fee. But God provided that at the last moment, and she got her tickets, she got the entrance fee, and she left in the middle of December to go get training, and that's where she's at right now, and we keep in contact with her. She is looking forward to returning here to Guyana to assist us in the village or wherever God puts her when she returns. So that's Yulia. She's a very special girl, and we were very glad to have her here. The other thing that happened in December is that we got two dogs, very feisty little 4-month-old puppies. Corey bought one with his own money. He had been working to save some money, and he wanted a dog, and then we got one for the family, and they have been very good about playing together. Of course, it adds kind of like having another baby in the house, but oh well.
Two more.
We made it. We are surviving with them, and they are fun to have. I hope you see our photo collage of this month to see pictures of them. Their names are Daisy, and that's the white one, and Rosie is the brown one when you do get to see the pictures. And the final thing that, well, not the final thing, something else that happened in December is Kalia fell. She fell.
Yeah, we're talking about you.
And I don't know how it happened, but she broke her collarbone on the left side. And she tolerated it well. She just cried every time we lifted her up by her arms, because we didn't really realize it. We thought she just hit her head. But every time I lifted her by her arms, she started screaming. And I finally called our health worker, and she took a look. And then we just traveled out to the hospital here on the coast, and they looked at it, and they decided, well, we should just put a cast on her. And that's the original treatment in the States too. So they put a cast to brace her shoulders back so that the clavicle would be held in place, and otherwise known as the collarbone. Anyways, and she healed well from that.
Praise God.
Praise God, there was
wasn't
nothing
anything else.
else.
We got invited to go to the village. Some friends of ours were having a Thanksgiving time for their new house. They were building a new house and they're giving Thanksgiving to God. And you're seeing the camera move because Kalia is playing with the tripod right now. And we went to their house and they had a big meal for a whole bunch of people. It was a really good blessing to be a part of that, to be a part of, we're really becoming part of this community and making some good friends here. So it was neat to be invited to be part of their lives that way. And then finally, Roger Burgoyne and his girlfriend Emily and Dakota, her son, came toward the end of December. And Roger is a friend of mine from a mechanic school back at Andrews University. And so he and I learned to work on airplanes together, and he came down to help us to work on airplanes some more. And we'll tell you more about that in January because that's when the work actually happened. We ended up here in Bethany for a week because our pilot was injured. He had some back muscle problems, so he wasn't able to fly out here from Parima.
But that did give Roger and Chris time to look at the engine that we have here for 609 and found that we had some wrong parts. So that engine never actually got to go on that plane.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for those parts.
Yep, but we'll talk about that later. But we got everything ready to go so that we could go out and finish putting the engine on 1.3 Mike and get that plane ready to fly. And we'll talk more about that in January.
And Emily was able to stay here with me, help me around the house, doing a few little things. Mostly we just kind of survived. She got a good taste for what mission life is like, of just surviving. But it was good. I mean, we enjoyed our time, and she met a lot of good people, and Dakota had fun with the kids. And it was just an overall wonderful experience to have Roger and Emily and Dakota here. And so
it's always encouraging to have people come and visit us and help us out, because then we don't feel like we're the only ones doing everything around here. Sometimes it gets a little lonely and such. So it's good to have people come down to help us and visit us.
Thank you again for your support. Yep. Thank you for your love. And we hope that the new year finds you doing well.
All right.
We'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Bye.